So the inputs of the city by way of non-verbal communication is what we're going to talk about today. The same questions that I asked to you, are these cities male, female, or neutral? I asked of London, Paris, New York, Cairo. The neutral is the blue, the male is the red, and the female is the green. It's actually quite striking that there are some cities that come up as being quite masculine, like, for example, New Delhi, or quite feminine, like, say, Barcelona or Sydney. And if you compare this to the Mercer Guide, which is like the survey that a lot of urban planners and citizens use to understand which are the best cities to live in the world, then you get 39 metrics, 10 different groups, and there's a whole aspect of analysing the way that a city is, but in terms of lifestyle. So how easy is it for you to get from A to B, like mobility? How easy is it for you to get a job? What's your lifestyle like inside a city? So is it a bit strange that the top 15 cities in this list of 2015 end up being either neutral or feminine on this survey? That's my question to you today. Why is it that some of the best cities are, in some respects, genderless? They're neither male or female. So if you look at Vienna, which is the top city, the survey results show there's an equality almost of male and female responses, that there are both male and female aspects of the city. This lovely lady over here wrote an article in 2011, and what she's referring to, Elizabeth Farrelly, is the principles of urbanism. Some of the connectivity, like I was talking to you about the language and how you connect with the city in terms of verbal communication. Well, how do you connect in terms of the non-verbal communication? How do you connect with the city? How do you walk around the city, or what kind of transport do you utilize to get from point A to point B in the city? How is it integrated? How is the heritage of the city interacting with your own personal culture or religion or aspects or professionalism? How is it that speed inside the city impacts you? Can you walk very fast from one place to the other? If you want to get from one place in the city to the other, how long does it take you to get there? So is there a relationship that you have with speed? And it turns out that there are so many different ways that you can redesign cities that look particularly at the aspects of how tall a city is, how tall, the urban aspect of scale is, your relationship with the external and internal environments, like the use of windows to give you the perception of the outdoors, the amount of daylight that is penetrating inside the building, the materials that you use and the colours of them. There was a really interesting study that was done in the 1990s by a lady called Eva Kale in Vienna. I really wanted to understand, if we're looking at these international cities and they do come across as being some of the best cities to live in, why? Why are they some of the best cities to live in? Well, it turns out Vienna, which has been on the top scale of cities for the past 5 to 10 years on the Mercer scale, which is internationally recognized, has actually had a lot of work done to it in terms of what they called at first gender mainstreaming. There has been pros and cons of utilizing this terminology, but very simply, it is about changing the gender of the city. They did a survey, and they asked people, how do they transport themselves inside the city? So it's a very mobility-based questionnaire, and they found that when men were answering the surveys, they would say, yeah, wake up in the morning, get on the train, get to work, come back from work, go home. The women, however, wouldn't stop writing. They were like, oh, well, wake up in the morning, I go and get breakfast for the children, take the children to the doctors, maybe to the school, I walk the dog, I do all these different aspects of my lifestyle, which is potentially a little bit sexist, and that's the reason why it's had some negative press, because it doesn't necessarily mean that women are, homemakers, and it doesn't necessarily mean